Welcome, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Vandana Atara, Nora, and this is going to be really deep, profound, gentle yet powerful introduction to the world of the ancestors, to the realms of the ancestors, I should say. If you have struggled with family issues, with karma, drama, and generational trauma, you've come to the right place. So, welcome again, and just take a moment to find a comfortable chair, kind of sit back, lean in, but also press your back into the backrest of your chair so you're really aligned with the divine above you and also the earth and your earth ancestors below you. And I'd love for you to find the chat box and share from your heart. You could drop down into your heart, out of your head, close your eyes if you like, just for a moment, and really ask your higher self to stream in and to help you understand your connection with them, with your kin, with the ones that have come before you. And welcome to everyone who's just joining again. Thank you for coming. And my name is Vandana Atara Nora. Just in case you don't know me yet, it's great to meet you and great to connect your heart to my heart and the group heart that we're actually connecting with right now, the collective heart of the cosmos and the collective heart of our ancestors. Hopefully the ones that may even come forward with a special message, right? Maybe some guidance or a special message from your ancestors, from the ancient or the recent ones. But we're gathered here together to not only to honor the ones that have come before us, especially the women in our ancestral bloodline, but we're also here to dialogue with them and kind of tell them, like, this doesn't belong to me. Whatever trauma imprints or burdens or wounds haven't been resolved, anything unfinished, I'm going to return this to you now because it's not mine to carry. And that's what we're going to be doing today a little bit. We're going to be diving just into a very gentle and safe step-by-step process today, a little guided journey that I have prepared for you. But next week is really where we're going to be doing the deep dive work on Saturday, December 13th at the same time. So mark your calendars, and I'll be sending you the invitation for the full program where we're really going to explore what happened before, but also we're going to be rewriting, or first we're going to discover any unspoken vows, loyalty vows that we're still carrying, passed on to us, and also any legacy burdens, right, that belong to our lineage that haven't been resolved yet. And we're going to see if there's like a secondary gain, or how these vows and ancestral contracts, how they are maybe secretly serving us, but we're not aware that they are. Or maybe the loyalty vows are keeping the family together, the spirit of our family together, so we feel a greater sense of belonging to a family. And that's why sometimes loyalty vows are created. And this is also, you could think of it as a trauma bond, where it might have worked at one time, it might have served us, even helped us to survive, right? To survive childhood trauma. But the burden is just too heavy for us, right? And most of all, it's not true for us and it doesn't belong to us. So next week, we'll be going deeper into kind of rewriting the soul of your family's contract, but creating new vows and promises and agreements for you and your descendants. But today, we're just going to start out with just asking yourself, asking your higher self, your oversoul, your I am presence to kind of drop in and really ask your heart. First, notice how your heart is today. What is it feeling? What are the sensations coming up for you? Whatever it is, welcome those parts in, right? Because we're really going to be diving deep into allowing, honoring, and accepting whatever comes up without resistance, without fear, without blocking any guidance or messages that come through for you today or next weekend. Especially if you weren't close or you were there was like a disconnect or family grudges or splits or rifts, basically, where one or more members of your ancestral line was exiled from your family tree. So there's a hole in your family soul, there's a rupture. And we're going to call back those parts, make peace with them, and see if we can just approach the ancestors that are missing or that are unwell, approach them from the space of curiosity, kindness, understanding, and compassion. Most of all, compassion. Because we can never be separate from our ancestors. We can never disconnect from them. And the more we avoid them, ignore them, deny their existence, the more cut off we're going to feel in our relationships with others, with loved ones, family members, at work, in romantic relationships, mostly with ourselves, where there'll always be this hole, right? Like there's something that you can't quite put your finger on. You can't pinpoint it, but it feels like there's something empty and missing. And there is because there may be an ancestral disconnect. So we want to really make the family tree whole again, right? And we know that when we are willing to step into the role as maybe our first ancestor cycle breaker, in other words, breaking the cycle of trauma, of pain, of stress, of difficulty, or anything that was left undone, that we can actually break the spell of our ancestors' suffering so we get free, they get free, we all get free simultaneously. So I'd love for you to just type in a little message, because this should be an interactive experience. The idea here is that we're coming together in this circle of love, of peace, of connection, divine connection. And we're not going to keep these burdens inside of ourselves, because that only harms us. And it also harms the life force of our family and also our children and grandchildren. So we want to really be honest with ourselves. We want to really be honest with ourselves and really take everything into consideration. We want to get everything out into the open as much as we can handle it, right? And we want to be open. And the only way that we can really feel safe and supported is to really drop into our heart space and really expand our heart space. But please drop in a chat, a little message about why you came, why you're here, what guided you here, why you felt this need to really be here, to kind of work out and resolve what hasn't been worked out or resolved until you came along. And we want to always express gratitude for all of our maternal and paternal ancestors. Today, we're going to be really focusing on the matriarchs and the grandmothers, the aunts, the daughters, the sisters, the female identity. so we can heal any divine wounds from the femininity frequency of our family, right? Because these are the women that we're connected to, right? In this womb of life, right? And so we want to express gratitude for the gift of our life, because if it weren't for our ancestors, we wouldn't be here. And it's up to us to choose a different path. But the only way we can choose a better, a greater, a different path than our ancestors were able to is if we can heal that trauma, not fix it, right? But just be there to witness it and find space enough in our hearts to accept it. Like, yeah, you were my ancestor. Yeah, I know you struggled to survive. And that doesn't mean that I need to recreate all the suffering that you went through. I don't need to carry this loyalty vow, right? I have learned the lessons from you, because whatever problems you're experiencing never started with you. It's not your fault. You're not broken, right? It's just the whispers, the imprints that still live within your cells, your bones, your blood, and your DNA, even your genomes that were passed on to you, that were passed on to all of us, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the more we can find space in our hearts to find some gratitude, to express some curiosity from the space of neutrality, not to allow ourselves to fall into that spell of blame and shame. Because whatever you inherited from your ancestral lineage can serve you. You can learn from it. We have to learn the lessons and the wisdom and the teaching so we don't repeat the things that they weren't able to. We don't pass on their suffering, their struggle, their whatever it is that they weren't able to do or feel. However, the women in your family were oppressed, suppressed, or held back. Maybe they made a vow, or there was a family secret, an unspoken secret, or an agreement, or an oath, whatever it is, that said, I will not speak up to the men in my family, to the patriarchy, because it is not safe to do so. So I will be invisible in the background, because that's where I know I'll be safe and protected. And so where are you carrying that pattern, that dysfunctional way of being in the world in your body, right? And so we're going to be playing with all of these different beliefs so you can really discover your own core beliefs. Like right now, maybe you can close your eyes for a moment. I invite you to do so. Place your hands over your heart and maybe ask yourself, or call in your higher self and your guides to resource you. You can call in Jesus and Mary and Archangel Michael and maybe Divine Mother. Maybe call in a loved one in spirit, or an animal totem that you feel familiar with. Whatever it is, ask yourself, what am I thinking, feeling, and believing, knowing that I am going to be gently and safely guided on an inner journey? What's happening inside of me? Am I feeling excitement, joy? Is my body buzzing or tingling? Or do I feel, is any fear coming up, right? Any resistance? Or is your heart completely open? So always perform a check-in before you want to call in an ancestor or find your most loving, wise, and well ancestral guide. Like the first matriarch, the wise, well, and enlightened one, right? The brightest and shiniest one that can handle all the family trauma that came after her. And you want to give it all, right? All your fears, your worries, and any stress or anxiety that you might have also inherited in utero, you want to just give it to this ancestral guardian. Even if you don't think, trust, or believe you have one, everyone has a wise and healed, a well ancestor, even if she lived thousands of years ago. Great. So see what you noticed just now. What have you been thinking or judging and feeling, believing about your ancestors? The ones you knew and the forgotten ones, the nameless ones that you never knew but just heard stories about. And this is why I started the work myself. And this work, this ancestral medicine work, this body of work, these teachings, this guidance, this hopefully inspiration for you started when I was curious about my ancestors that I never knew. I didn't come from a very close family. There was a lot of disconnect. And I knew it was up to me to be my family's first cycle breaker, right? And to kind of investigate, but from a higher perspective, and to kind of just notice and witness, like, I wonder what it was, without assuming or deciding that I have all the answers. And the only way I was able to find peace, and this is an ongoing process, it's not a Band-Aid, right? That I'm just saying, like, here, take this red pill and you're going to be fine. All your ancestors' problems will disappear. It doesn't work like that, because you're not really being present. You're spiritually bypassing when you do that, or escaping whatever happened before. And it doesn't mean once you know, or once you meet a friendly and loving ancestor guide, that everything in your life is going to change overnight either. It's just developing a deeper, more intimate and loving relationship with your ancestors' gifts, and understanding and feeling compassion for their burdens, because everything gets passed on to us. So we want to make peace with everything. So let me take a look at the chat box, and please share what you would like to experience today and why you showed up, why you felt like, this is so interesting. I've always wanted to know who my ancestors were. I've always wanted to heal my family line, because the closer and the more intimate, the deeper your heart connection is with your ancestral lineage, again, especially for the women and toward the women in your family, the more blessings and the more support you'll feel, the more signs you'll witness along the way, maybe in a dream or maybe when you journal, right? So it's really important. And also, just real quick before we continue, what I've learned in my studies and my own personal experience working with my ancestors, building an altar to honor them, to dedicate to their lives and their struggles, what I learned is that the mother wound is very important to heal, because if we reject our mothers, we reject life. And if we didn't bond with them for the first 18 months of our lives, we didn't have that bond, then it might be hard to be in relationship with other women or other females who might trigger you or remind you of your own mother-daughter, mother-son connection. So this is why I wanted to make space. I wanted to build a bridge and create a space to really heal the women from, like I said, suppression, oppression, patriarchal domination, because we know that hundreds or thousands of years ago that they were definitely affected by this. They definitely couldn't vote. They didn't have a voice. They weren't free to do what they wanted to do, what they loved to do. And so there was maybe very little joy. It was definitely, the women were held back. And even now, the women in your family might pretend everything's okay, but might still be in survival mode. And that is another pattern, a cycle, a program, right? Or a belief system that you may be holding that again gets passed on and lives in us. But our ancestors live in us too. So we can't deny their existence. And it doesn't help to judge them. We just want to understand them, right? Beautiful. Let me take a look at the chat box. If you have any questions, you can ask them now. Hi, Wilma. No worries about your non-functioning camera. Wilma says, varicose veins are hereditary on my mother's side. In a recent meditation, I was aware that I meant to clear them in both my legs to heal the generations. Yes, so ready to let go of what isn't mine. And that can be a very simple conversation, but it should be led by a facilitator, whether it's me or someone else. But this work is not easy. It's hard to do on your own. And so that's why I invited you today. And thank you again for coming, because we're sitting together, supporting each other, holding each other in this space of community, right? Yeah, returning what's not serving, but thanking our ancestors, wherever it came from, the first ancestor who created this false belief or this pattern or this pain, this trauma that got passed on from woman to woman, female, from one female to the next, that eventually led to birthing us. But we know that we also, what's interesting is that inside of our womb, our genetic materials from both our mother and our grandmother. So maybe ask yourself in this moment, what was your relationship with your grandmother, your mother's mother? Because there's a part of her that still lives within you as well as her mother's, and so on and so on and so on. So yeah, Wilma's saying feeling anticipation, energy, open to releasing everything from the past that's ready to be released to set the ancestors free. Thank you. Thank you for that. So ready to let go of what's not serving me. Dipti says, yes, true. I want to heal my lineage too. Malar says, healing women in the ancestral line from both sides. Yes. So we want to have a look at and want to just notice and pay attention to our maternal lineage and our father's bloodline as well. All the women on both sides. Thank you. That's very important information to take into this journey. So right now, I'm going to start off with a prayer. If you'd like to join me, I invite you to. Again, I invite you to kind of sit back in your chair and press the back of your back into the backrest of your chair now. Just really press it in and allow the chair to feel easy, comfortable, and to really hold you up and support every part of you. I really feel that deep connection with our Earth Mother too. And Elena says, hi, Elena. Healing of the mother wound, maternal lineage dysfunction. Absolutely. Thank you. You're in the right place. So we're going to call in all our mothers and grandmothers, sisters, daughters, all relations, great spirit, divine creator, creatrix. And you can place your hands together and you can bow to them. So you're bowing your head to your heart, right? You're bowing down to your heart because your heart has all the answers. Your heart contains all the wisdom, the emotional intelligence, and the guidance. And then if you'd like, you can really notice that it's easier for you. You have more space to kind of sink into your skin, basically settle down your nervous system, and take some breaths in and out. And you can place one hand, doesn't matter which one, over your heart for connection, for a deeper connection, and anchor the other hand for deeper protection. So the hands have now dropped over your heart space. You're out of your head. And notice how that feels, being completely held in your heart space. Remember, you are being resourced by safe spirit guides, guardians, angels, archangels. And today we bow in reverence to our ancestors, those who walk before us, whose spirit guides our steps, even now. And with open hearts, we honor your wisdom, your ancestors' sacrifices, their strength and their love. And we give thanks. I say thank you out loud. Thank you for the paths that you've paved, for the lessons you've woven into my soul. And may your challenges, journeys, and triumphs, all of them, all of the above, remind you of the courage and resilience within you, that was passed on to you too. Ancestors, mothers, grandmothers, aunts, sisters, all relations, all female relations, all of the ancestors in your lineage that identified as women. May your protection surround us, your wisdom fill us, and your love flow through us like an ocean, a river of light. And allow yourself to just kind of stretch out of your head and really expand bigger and bigger. So you're outside of the physical and you're beginning to journey and travel to the land of the ancestral realms. And please, ancestors, guide us in our decisions and walk with us on the left and the right side of us. Strengthen our divine feminine connection. Help us to find peace and balance even in the struggles. And please celebrate with us in our joys today and always. And may we carry your legacy with honor, with grace on this sacred day that we've gathered together here. All the women, the girls, the maidens, the elders, the crones, on this sacred day, we offer our prayers and gratitude, knowing that through though their bodies have returned to earth, their spirit remains with us always. Aho, amen, and so it is. This is a poem written by Grandmother Flora de Mayo, one of the 13 grandmothers. And there is a film called The 13 Grandmothers that I highly recommend you watch. You can look it up and find it on Google. And here's another prayer that I'd like to bring in from Grandmother Flora de Mayo. And this is a prayer for the divine feminine. Beloved spirit of divine mother, womb of creation, heart of the earth, I invite you to connect to the womb of creation. What would that look like and feel like and be like if you could just step inside of this cosmic womb where everything is created, but where you can uncreate what doesn't serve you that has been created before you. See if you can just connect with the heart of the earth, with Gaia, Pachamama. We come before you with humility, with gratitude, with awe for you, and curiosity too. You who are the rivers that nourish, the moon that pulls the tides within us, and also the hands that comfort, right? If you didn't have that experience of love and affection and tender touch from your mothers and grandmothers. We're going to call on an ancestor who can hold you, who has the healing hands to be able to, who is willing to. So we call upon the ancestral hands that can comfort and the voice that can guide us and whisper to us, rock us, cradle us, soothe us. We honor your presence in every breath. And Great Mother, please awaken in us that sacred remembrance that we too are vessels of light, vessels of love, vessels of life. Please help us soften even more. Help us breathe even more deeply, slowly and fully, and help us soften the places inside that are frozen, numb, and have become hardened from generation to generation to generation. And breathing into the softest place in the front and the back and the sides of your heart. See if you can use your healing breath to just dissolve and melt any walls or rough edges or barriers around your beautiful and intelligent heart. And may we all rise where we've made ourselves small. May the wisdom of the grandmothers walk with us. May we carry the courage of our mothers, the songs of our daughters, and the dreams of the ancestors not yet born. Please teach us to listen deeply, to speak truth, but to speak truth wrapped in kindness. And may we all walk this earth in reverence with strong backs and soft hearts and open hands, receiving hands. May we reclaim the beauty of our sacred feminine power, not to dominate, but to restore, not to possess, but to protect, and not to control, but to create. And we call now, with our next in and out breath longer, we call now on the sacred feminine spirit. And we ask the sacred feminine spirit to teach us and show us the way how to walk in beauty and harmony, how to honor the earth as our temple, and to remember that our power lies in our prayers. May we heal in your waters, remember our worth, and may we rise. May we all together hold hands and rise, arise for ourselves, for our sisters, and for all the generations to come. And we say, Aho, Amen, so it is. I'd like you to start paying attention to your breath. And I'm going to call in the spirit of one of my greatest Zen master teachers, Thich Nhat Hanh. And I'm going to walk you through this short guided practice. So we honor all the women on both sides of our family, the ones that we knew and the ones that we never knew. So dropping into your chest, lungs, your esophagus, your diaphragm, breathing in to every opening. Breathing in, I see the presence of my beloved ancestors that live and exist in every cell of my body. And notice what that feels like. You can move one hand over your abdomen and the other over your lower belly, your womb chakra, your birthing center. And this is where we store, right, all of those buried feelings and emotions. And many of them don't even belong to you, but were passed on to you in utero. So breathing that in, the presence of your beloved ancestors in every cell, in every bone, every organ of your body. But now breathing out longer. Open mouth, relaxed breath. But breathing out longer, I smile to my beloved ancestors in every cell of my body. And see yourself smiling at them, and maybe catch a glimpse of them smiling at you, one or two, or a group of ancestors that may be even now curious about you too. Breathing in, you can say, my loved ones are breathing with me. I'm breathing with my loved ones, with my ancestors' lungs. And breathing out, our bodies together are relaxing and opening. Our lungs are expanding with each in and out breath. And now see if you can begin to step a little closer. You don't have to see them, just feel, see if you could feel or trust their divine presence. Breathing in, I'm looking through my loved one's eyes, my ancestors' eyes, and I'm listening with my ancestors' ears. And I'm blending and I'm beginning to merge with the consciousness, the energy, and the spirit of my beloved ancestors. I'm seeing myself through their eyes. I'm hearing my voice through their ears. I'm feeling myself through their feelings. Just allow this energy to flow and just trusting this process. And now we call upon the well ancestors who know how to heal all the recent troubled ancestors and the past troubled ancestors. We're calling upon the wise medicine women that we all have in our lineage and our bloodline. Please listen to our prayers and hold a safe space for us, because we share your DNA and your ESP. And we're here to honor every single baby, child, teenager, adolescent, every young woman, every mature woman, every elder, wise woman in our family tree. And we're including all of our mothers and grandmothers whose bones and blood and genomes and hormones have become a part of us. But we're also requesting that this be easy. We're requesting that the kindest spirits of the ancestors that walked on their land, that tended to their lands, that cared for their land, their property, their homes, their village, to bless you and to support you. And we hold compassion for the ancestors that were never allowed to or given permission to speak their truth or to fulfill their dreams. So we're calling on every age and stage of all the women in your family. And all of these women, all of these ancestors, and all of their voices, their essence, will always live in the home of your heart. And the tree of life, your tree of life, stems from the same roots. You can never be separate, nor would we want to be separate from you. So we're praying for all of those that not only survived the effects and the aftermath of suppression, of being held back, of being silenced, censored, judged, abandoned from the patriarchy. We're calling all of them in to receive healing too. And we're asking the most loving healer ancestor to fill us with her grace. And in a moment, please tell this ancestor, even though I never knew you, you are not forgotten. Even though I sometimes feel invisible, you had to become invisible to be safe and to survive. But I don't need to. I am safe being visible, seen, supported, and soothed by women and men. I trust my intuition. I am able to receive all the love and the care that is meant for me. And I will honor this circle of women, all of my ancestors, for doing the work, for sacrificing what they needed to sacrifice to survive and to give birth to me. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Beautiful. So let's do a quick check-in before we go to our closing guided inner journey, where we're actually going to meet all the healing hands and feel the hands of the healer women in your bloodline. So I'm going to come back now. Fully, I'm going to ask you to type in a message. Let me know. I'm just checking in with you. How is your heart? And ask yourself this question. Yeah, how is my heart? Where is my heart? Go ahead and touch your heart. Maybe massage your heart and ask your heart what it needs, what it's feeling, what's processing or still hasn't been processed. All feelings are welcome. I will take a quick look at the chat box. Please share if there's anything special that you need, how you're feeling, what's happening for you, what's coming up in this moment, and what might have shifted from the beginning of the call until now. Yes. Wonderful. Felt great. Thank you, Dipti. Healing of the mother wound. Yep. Maternal lineage. Ditto. Yeah. This is a big one. And so that's why I'm inviting you all to dive deeper with me next weekend. Again, Saturday, if you missed it in the beginning of the call, Saturday, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern, December 13th. We'll be diving deep to see if we can go into the spirit or the consciousness of the women that came before us that led to the birthing of us. We're going to see if we can notice where we're holding some of their pain, some vows or contracts in our chakras, in our entire being, in our womb, where we are holding our ancestors' heaviness and burdens, so we can all unburden together, drop that heavy baggage, right, that doesn't belong to us. So that's next weekend. Just let me continue, Wilma, and at the end of the call, I will definitely give you an opportunity to unmute, because I want to hear from you, of course. I want you to feel that you have a voice and that you're heard, but also anyone else who would like to share. Is that okay? Thank you for understanding. So right now I'm going to take you on a deeper, slightly deeper journey. And let me do that now. And this will probably give you a deeper feeling for who came before you, who is related to you, and is there a message for you? Is there a gift? Do you feel guided? Will you feel guided at the end of this journey to make an offering to the ancestor that came forward to heal, to help, to protect you and support you? So this is an energy exchange, right? And it's okay if you can't see everything. You can imagine, well, what would it be like if I could see my loving ancestral guardian? Right? And most importantly, use your feeling senses, your intuition, and trust it. Trust it can, your inner wisdom knows everything. And your inner wisdom can feel the divine presence of an ancestor approaching or asking for guidance from you. So let's start by connecting to your breath again. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling so much longer. And this is regulating your nervous system. So whenever you feel dysregulated, you want to come back to your center and really ground. Use your healing breath as an anchor. So breathing in through the nose and breathing out longer and fuller and slower through your mouth. And you can make an ah sound on the out breath. And that's really going to help to bring up and to help you more gently release any angst or anxiety or even fear or resistance that you may notice. And that's totally normal and understandable if you do. But it also will help to open and expand your heart space. So allow your breath to expand. Remember your heart to soften, nice, open, soft heart in front of you, but behind you, a nice, strong back. So you're again sinking into the backrest of your chair, pressing into it. Your feet anchored to the earth, to the floor and ground beneath you. So your chair is holding you up, supporting you, and holding your seat and your feet. So allow any tension in your body to just kind of subside and begin to be aware of a sun, a golden, warm, rotating sun, a sun disk above you. And just allow that sun to the rays of the sun to brighten and surround you and to radiate light, golden light all around you, through you from the top to the bottom. And then allow this sunlight to, as it melts away any mental tension, physical tension, emotional tension, it actually is cleansing and clearing and really purifying the insides of you. And as it moves to your feet, just notice that it might be moving up behind you from your feet to your center and to the top of your head. So allow this spinning light to move like a cosmic orbit, top to bottom, but also now to move all around you. And again, you have your support team here, your spirit team. So you're not alone. Your higher self is guiding this process. Your adult self, your child self. See if you can find more space as your physical eyes close and your inner space or your inner eyes open. Just breathing and sinking into this spacious emptiness. And this is your inner sovereign space. And allow yourself to just be a little bit more curious about what you may feel or notice in the next few minutes. Maybe notice the pattern or the rhythm of your heartbeat, how fast or slow it feels. And notice what it feels like to be held in warmth and in divine light and awareness, and allow your consciousness to expand and overlight you. And just take this time to continue enjoying the space inside of you. And notice what part of your body may be calling you or may need your attention now. And just mostly allow yourself to be open and receptive and in your divine feminine beauty and qualities, trusting your intuition. And let's begin to invite in the divine loving presence and the highest expression, the highest selves of the souls of your family, of the females in your family and the ones that identified as females. The ancestors who were your sisters in other timelines, lifetimes, the mothers, daughters, grandmas, and so on. And see if you can invite in the ancestors into these open, soft spaces of your body, which may even be in need of healing. And notice as they arrive in this space, in your sovereign space, allow them to just be there and see if you can kind of float above them, partially leaving your body, the weight and the density of your body. And notice that you are just a floating pair of eyes and awareness that's gazing down upon whichever ancestors that may be ready to come in and visit with you. And here you may notice something about an ancestor that you didn't notice, that you could never notice if they were standing very close to you. So here you have the space, your angels, your higher selves are holding you. And whichever ancestor just arrived, just notice how she looks, how she's dressed, how her energy feels to you, her mood, the way she walks, her gait. And now I invite you to return to your body and find a safe and comfortable distance from this ancestor. Even if she seems very, very far away, or even if you can't see any ancestor, just ask yourself, what if I could? And imagine that you can, because we all have this ability. Maybe you'll see a color, a shape, or maybe an outline of a form, and that's okay too. Or maybe you'll be whisked away to the land of your ancestors, maybe the first home or the hut or the tent of your ancestors. And what does that feel like as you take that scene in? And if you do see an ancestor, you can slowly approach, maybe meet her midway. Notice if she notices you. If you do see her, the first, kindest, most loving, healer, wise woman ancestor, just see if you can notice her hands and how she tends to your ancestral land. Maybe she's gardening or sewing a blanket, crocheting, knitting, or maybe she's cooking a very hearty and nurturing soup for her family, or maybe just for herself. Maybe she's brewing up a healing remedy for the entire village who comes to her and trusts her healing medicine. So whatever you see is perfect for you. Notice how it makes you feel inside. And notice what emotions arise with you from the inside. And let's return now and pay a little bit closer attention. Let's just zoom in to your ancestor's hands and her feet. And just ask her, are you one of the first, strongest, fiercest women in my family? One of the first women that gave birth to all my mothers and grandmothers before me? And just wait for a nod or maybe a smile or some type of acknowledgement. And just be patient. And you're giving her enough space, right? And if she nods yes, you can introduce yourself as her great, 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 great grandchild, granddaughter, maybe the grandmother you always wished for. You can express whatever you need to. Maybe tell her how happy you are to finally meet her. You could ask for her name. You could tell her yours. Ask her anything if she seems open to it. Maybe a message, a gift, just some kind of guidance. You can give her all of your problems. Maybe not all, but ask her for divine guidance. Or maybe, what would you do? You can ask her whatever you like. Just notice the quality of, or the sound of her voice, her features. And always be respectful, thanking her for her time, for showing up in this scene. And if she's not your direct ancestor, it's okay. You can tell her what an honor it is to meet whoever this is. Maybe she is connected to your ancestor or knows how to find your ancestor. So go ahead and ask that too. If she actually tells you that she's not your blood-related ancestor, ask her, can you help me and point me in the right direction? Where does my ancestor live and how can I meet her? Show me how to arrive at the ancestral shores. Or maybe she'll show you or give you an idea, and then you can take that into your next meditation on a future visit. Just trust your intuition and wish her well, gazing upon her incredible ancient wisdom. And look around. Where is she seated? Are you inside? Are you outside? Are you in her home that she invited you to? Are there any children with her? Any other daughters or granddaughters? And you can speak with them too, but always ask permission first. But again, you want to notice the strength of her healing hands. The hands that might have toiled, right, in the soil, and really the overworked hands, right? The hands that did all the work in the family. Maybe she didn't have a support system and it was all up to her to take responsibility and raise her children. Whatever you're experiencing now, much of your life is mirrored and reflected in her life. So the patterns continue on and on. How old is she? Is she your age? Is she younger? And if she was a single mother, are you a single mother? Or if she wasn't able to have children, do you have that experience in this lifetime? So just notice the relationship, the interwoven relationship, and just see what happens. Approach this with curiosity, like you're really inside of her, looking back at you. What does it feel like to be your first ancestor? And then when you're ready, just take another moment. You're just holding that compassion for her. And now you can tell her, thank you. Thank you for all the lessons, for all the healing gifts, for the special abilities that were passed down from generation to generation until I was born. And if there are any burdens or heaviness, any unresolved pain, I'd like to unburden now. I'd like to return it back to wherever it came from. Can you please take this or these burdens from me? This is not mine to carry. And so see if you can feel into the spaces of your body where there's congestion, where there are knots or tension, and feel into those places and physically take your healing hands and lift them and peel them off and away from your body and just place them in a giant or a tiny ball of light and just lift off all the pain and tension, the burdens, the over responsibilities from your shoulders. Put them in this ball of light. You could wrap it in a blanket and tie it with a nice pretty bow and just say, I now return all of my family's burdens passed on from the women who had no voice. I am now the voice of my ancestors. I choose to be the cycle breaker as a living ancestors. Please take what is not mine. It is not mine to keep, but I will keep what is mine and cherish that forever with gratitude. Please give me a blessing, my children a blessing, all the women in my family a blessing. I'm so grateful for meeting you today. And notice how she responds. Is she taking back the family burdens, the patterns, the traumas that were living inside of you? And if she is, you can bow to her and thank her for taking it. And watch if she passes it back to other ancestors 7 generations before her. And ask her, are you passing these burdens to their rightful owners, where these traumas first began, where the troubles first began? And if you are, you want to thank that first ancestors, for taking it back, for holding it and transmuting it, all the poisons and pain, into medicine and peace. So everyone gets free simultaneously. And in your own time, thanking her, saying goodbye, you can ask if it's okay to give her a hug or just to bow in gratitude to her, and notice how it feels when she steps even closer to you. And now that you've connected hearts, you've found all of these ancient memories, you've arrived at the ancestral shores where all of your ancestors there are at peace. You can start saying your goodbyes and slowly returning back, unblending from them, and blending back, merging back into your own body, your spirit, your soul are now whole. Beautiful. Okay. Good. And now you could brush yourself off with your eyes closed, rub your face, your head, crisscross your hands across your shoulders and just brush any excess energy that's not yours all the way down to your hands. And then just clear them, clear any energy that's still in your field, that's not yours, it never was, it doesn't belong to you. And we'll heal and seal the space now. Coming back to your guides, to your team, your higher self, the chair, your body, and your own divine presence, your own ancestral voice, and listen to what it has to say. And in just a few minutes after we say our goodbyes, you can pull out your journal and start to take some notes, right? So you won't forget any important details of your inner journey to the ancestral realms. But notice how you feel now. Do you feel different or the same? Do you feel that something, a piece of you, has shifted or evolved, grown, developed, or maybe just you have more space, more breathing room inside? And look around your room and notice if anything looks different than before, or if you feel different from before, or if you want to pull a mirror in, look in a mirror, do you look different? Are your eyes different? And congratulate yourself for taking this journey with me. And in just a moment, I'm going to ask for your feedback. I'm going to ask for your heart shares, because I'm curious and I want to give you a voice, and I want to make sure that you feel seen and heard and that you feel honored as well. So I'm just sharing a little, just a snippet about what you can expect when you join me again next week, when you join our ancestral circle. What you'll receive is peace and clarity, womb protection, guidance from your female allies and helpers and protectors, feminine empowerment, healing the mother wound, healing the feminine wound, and ancestral healing at the root. We're going to get to the root cause of where the trauma all began, where those family patterns and the disconnect began, so we can reconnect the missing pieces and bring wholeness and peace and closure, not only to you, but to your entire family soul. right? So this is for those of you who have unfinished ancestral business or unhealed wounds with the women in your family, the living women in your family. You'd like to dissolve the loyalty vows, the trauma bonds, the legacy burdens, all of these unhealed generational patterns. And so that you and your descendants won't continue having to repeat and duplicate and recreate the wounds that didn't start with you, that started a really long time ago. And finally, to be able to say it and mean it, all of this ends with me. To have the courage and the tenacity to say that and mean that and do something about it. And what a gift you are now to every ancestor in your family tree.